Hi guys, it's the Everyday Vegan here. This is the second episode of the vlog where I basically just talk about things sitting in my living room. It is incredibly dark outside today and my friend Chris is running a marathon, even though it's raining. So on that topic, I have actually secured a place in the Berlin Marathon next year, together with my brother, so that's going to be very exciting. Vegan running a marathon. I'm sure I'm not the first, but it is a first for me, so that's going to be exciting. However, today's topic is, as you have seen in the title, the vegan question. Now, what I mean by that is the question that I'm sure you've come across 1,000 times already when you sit around a lunch table or when you're just talking to your friends and they go, so why are you actually vegan? And I'm really interested to see how you guys answer that question. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what I usually say. I'm aware that I have done a video of about 10 reasons why I am vegan, but when somebody asks me and they give me the impression that they want a relatively concise answer, I usually say something along the lines of that I do it for the animals, of course, because I don't believe that we should be allowed as a species to enslave entire other species, such as cows or pigs, entirely for our pleasure of killing and eating them. You know, sometimes you get the question, well, but that's what vegetarians do, and I say, yes, that's true, but if you think about the dairy industry, it's just as bad because, yes, you don't kill the animal, that gives you the milk. However, for a cow to give milk, or any animal really like a goat, they have to be pregnant at all times. And I'm sure not every farm does that, but a lot of the large-scale dairy farm producers actually, of course, take the children away, take the calves away, and sometimes they get sold on for veal production, and sometimes they just get killed. It's the reality of it, because otherwise an animal would not give milk if it wasn't pregnant. And of course, in large-scale operations, you know, such as big dairy farms, there isn't always a bull around, so the cows don't usually get to have a lot of fun to become pregnant. It's usually artificial insemination, which some would consider rape, because I don't think the cow chooses to be pregnant at that point. But whatever terminology you want to use here, that's usually what I say about the animal side of things. So one, I don't believe we have to eat meat because there are substitutes for it and you can very healthily live on a vegan diet, like you can see. And also, I don't believe that the dairy industry is any better. Now, secondly, I do say oftentimes that I do it for health, and that's very true. I feel a lot healthier than I have done in the past. That's mainly due to me having lost a lot of weight and obviously starting to think about what I put in my body a lot more. I've never really cared about what vitamins, what minerals, and what substitutes I sort of put in my body before, because I always thought, you know, if you have an omnivore diet, you don't have to worry about that, which of course is nonsense because, as I'm sure a lot of you know, for example, vitamin D is a large problem in the UK, and about 60% of people have a vitamin D deficiency, from what I understand. And of course, not 60% of people are vegan. So despite having an omnivore diet and eating meat and vegetables together, you can still have deficiencies, which of course is a problem. So please guys, if you watch this and you're not vegan or vegetarian, please, you still need to pay attention to your diet. So number one reason, it's the animals. Number two reason is health as well. For me, weight loss was another one. I also, and this is the last thing I sort of draw upon without going into too much detail, I do believe it is the right thing to do for the planet, because I consider myself somewhat of an environmentalist as well, and I do believe that a lot of the resources on our planet, specifically water, gets wasted on large scale animal production. Please guys, if you don't believe me, do your own research. It takes, I don't know the numbers specifically, but I know it takes a lot more water to produce a pound of beef or pork than it takes to produce a pound of grain. So people that say, oh, you know, what about all the soya? Well, you know, 90% of the soya that's produced out there is produced for animal feed, so that's really no argument at all. So, in summary, because I don't want to have this video drag on for far too long, please tell me how you guys answer the vegan question. Why are you vegan? I would like to know your reasons. My three are, in no particular order, that I do it for the animals, that I do it for health reasons and weight loss, and that I do it for the greater good of the planet, because I do believe that it's morally right. And I'm not morally righteous, as I'm saying, you know, everybody should do it and whoever doesn't is immoral. I'm not going down that route at all. But I do believe that everybody has to make their own peace with life, I guess, or with whoever you want to be in life. And I guess that it is for me. Also, thank you so much for all the comments that I've had on the first one of these vlogs, and of course on all of my other videos. I'm always super excited when I get an email saying, hey, you've had a new comment, and I do try and answer them. I sort of log into YouTube once or twice a week because of course I've got other things going on in my life, but I do try and answer every question if it is a question. Sometimes I just can't. Sometimes I take a little bit longer to answer them because I need to think about it. I had a really interesting comment the other day about my reasons for eating honey and to explain them, and it's taken me a little while to sort of formulate that in my mind and to think about that. And since then I've sort of thought about that a lot actually. So we'll see where that goes. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching the videos and getting back in touch and all that stuff. And until I see you again, all the best. And please tell me how you answer the vegan question. Bye!